What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. I hope the week has been treating everybody fantastic. We are almost to that weekend, so we can all grind out some Destiny together. If y'all are looking for a place to come hang out, meet some new people inside of the Destiny community, come join the Discord out. We have been growing pretty consistently over the past month or so. Y'all have been absolutely nuts with the support, so thank you for that. And come on and join up, talk about Destiny, talk about life, just talk about gaming in general. Solid place to hang out, and love seeing all those new faces there, and I welcome everybody into the server. Now in today's video, I want to go over a nice build for actually some solar glaives that I have been playing with. I absolutely do not like the glaives, but I figured I would give them another chance and come up with a build that I would actually have fun with and share it around with my community and the Destiny community in general. And hopefully you guys enjoy this bad boy too, because like I said, for me, glaives are very underwhelming, even the exotic ones. And this is actually just a legendary glaive, the Lubra's Ruin from the Valve the Disciple raid, and just because it's solar, and I'm really liking this build at the moment. Now for every build, first off we have the drip. Tell me that for my DC, especially Flash fans, tell me I don't look like Zoom a little bit as he's just traveling in the Speed Force. Super fast boy. I don't know, I really love this helmet. But on to the actual build here. For our weapons, first off we're going to throw on the Outbreak Perfected for that extra little damage on some of our bosses and champions when we are using this build, plus it is super good for ad clear. For our weapon of choice for the glaive, we're actually going to go with this Lubra's Ruin that I just got with Sleight of Hand and Vorpal on it, throwing on that major spec so we can deal with champions a little bit better, because we really won't be dealing with bosses too much with this one. We'll be using either our Outbreak Perfected or our Rocket for that actual boss damage, but this is going to do with major spec super good damage on everything else within Lost Sectors, within GMs, even within the raid. Moving on, right here we have the Ascendancy Rocket. Now the good thing about this is we have Ambitious Assassin and Explosive Light, so if you're going into something where your armor and stats are not locked, you can switch between Explosive Light and Chain Reaction, so you can use Chain Reaction for that ad clear and a little bit of extra solar explosion for this build, or you can throw on this Explosive Light for that extra damage by picking up Orbs of Power, whether they're created from teammates' supers or by weapon drops via mods on your helmet. For our super right here, we are going to be using our bottom tree Sunbreaker class with our thermite grenades. I absolutely love these bad boys for both PvE and PvP. Now the reason we're using bottom tree Sunbreaker right here is for our Sun Warrior spots, and it just pairs super well with our helmet. So when we strike an enemy with a melee to release a solar explosion, those nearby enemies also catch on fire, which plays into play with both our glaive and our rocket. Soul Invictus solar ability kills restore your health. Grenade, melee, and Sun Warrior kills leave a deadly sunspot in their wake. So this is super important because we are going to be getting Sun Warrior a lot in this build. Next, we got Endless Siege, so hammers create sunspots on impact. This is more for when we pop our super. And then finally, right here, passing through sunspots causes your grenade and melees to recharge faster and your super to last longer if you are inside of it. It also increases damage to your weapons. Now this pairs perfectly with both of our solar weapons because we're once again going to be using those solar elemental wells for a few different reasons with this build. Now in the future this could change because Bungie is coming out with a lot of changes to the glaives based on our last TWAB on April 21st, so maybe we will be able to get some of these mods to proc with its melee attack, unlike it can't right now. Some of those little things it's not proccing either a melee or it's not proccing when you shoot the projectile, so they're going to be fixing that up, and this might change the mods in the future, but I will readdress that when the time comes, and if that does happen we'll be able to make this build even better. So for our helmet, I'm still looking for a better drop. Haven't been able to get one to go. Keep getting repeat helmets on this boy, but we're going with the Loreley Splendor Helm. Now this is because sunspots heal you and you create sunspots when you're critically wounded or on barricade casts. So you're going to be able to get sunspots on your barricade cast, or if you become really weak when you have a full barricade energy still. But it's more important on the barricade cast because we're running 100 resilience right here, so we're going to be able to throw down our shields basically every 10 seconds, and then that pairs perfectly because passing through those sunspots cause us to get grenades and melees back faster. And then on top of that, we get Sun Warrior kills to proc because we were just in a sunspot, so we're going to have Sun Warrior. So every single solar kill basically after that is going to leave another spawn spot in the wake. Now to complement this build here on our arms, first off we have Melee Wellmaker, which hopefully this will also be able to be procced by the glaive in the future. Right now it's not working like that, but being up close and personal with those sunspots, it's perfect to cast and get some nice solar wells when we have our melee. And then we have focusing strike and bolstering detonation, so when we are getting damage with either our melee or our grenade, we're getting our class ability back faster. So withstanding in those sunspots, being able to get grenades and melees back faster, we're going to be able to proc wells via the Melee Wellmaker, and then also get back our class ability, so our barricade super fast based on collecting those wells, standing in the sunspots, and then getting damage with grenades and melees. Moving on to our chest piece right here, Elemental Ordnance. So whenever we get those defeats with a solar grenade, we are going to be dropping solar elemental wells, which just comes into play because we're going to be getting everything back super fast based on those sunspots, and then our 2 arm mods right there. So we're going to be able to get back our shield and our grenades and our melees back super fast. And then we're just throwing on rocket reserves and glaive reserves so we can have those extra ammo in our reserves for both our Lubray's Ruin and our Ascendancy. Moving on to the legs here, we're going to have Rocket Scavenger and Glaive Scavenger, so when you pick up that ammo, it's going to be replenished way better than just normally. And then Elemental Armament, so Weapon to Final Blows with a subclass that matches the weapon subclass, so both Solar if we're using our Solar subclass, so both Lubray's Ruin and Ascendancy, because of Elemental Armaments, have the chance to spawn Elemental Wells as well. Last off on our class item, we're going to be using Bomber, so reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. That just again is going to give us our grenades super fast, being able to create the elemental wells based on elemental ordnance right here, and just in general creating those sunspots. We're actually going to have suppressing glaive on just so it has that additional little bit of oomph on doing those melee attacks, suppressing our enemies. And then finally well of ordnance, so picking up those solar elemental wells grants additional grenade energy, once again playing into having our grenades very often and using those to proc either our wells, sunspots, or get our abilities back faster with our shield or our barricade. Now behind me is just a little gameplay of it. Like I was saying, I use mostly the glaive, and you're creating sunspots a lot, being able to drop your rally barricade all the time, and then everything pairs super well with having those sunspots and having those solar elemental wells, so you are able to get all your abilities back super fast, get that extra little bit of damage because of those sunspots, and it just pairs super well with this build, being able to do extra damage via our explosive light on our Ascendancy, plus Outbreak is one of the best DPSs for kinetics, besides something like maybe Wither Horde or another fusion rifle grenade launcher in that slot, but we really don't have many, so those nanites and that exotic come into play super well for ad clear and that little extra damage. And then Lubray's Ruin, when we're up close and personal, you can shoot it, you can get in close, you're going to be creating sunspots all over the place. With that Loreley Splendor helmet, it is perfect for the this build, and the synergy of it is wonderful, especially since right now we're seeing a lot of stasis and a lot of void. Once Solar 3.0 comes out, this build is going to be absolutely crazy. And like I said, once they start changing some of the glaives around and being able to proc different mods and different perks based on either melee or shooting the glaive, is going to change out how these builds are played. Plus, with glaives, you can actually use it as a shield a little bit and hold down your block button or your aim down sights, and it'll actually throw up that little shield to take less damage for a little while as well, making this build even better. Not that you're going to use it too much, because those sunspots are going to be keeping you alive quite often, because you will be producing them everywhere, and then you're just going to have your shield ability back almost instantly with having 100 resilience and collecting all of those elemental wells. So definitely give this build a shot, especially if you guys enjoy solar builds. Definitely the way to go, and hopefully, like I said, this build will get even better in the future with changes to Solar 3.0 and then also some changes to the glaives coming as well. Thank you guys again. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.